What is up, Ghosts and Guardians, and welcome back to the Ghosts and Guardians YouTube channel, where today we are finally reacting to the Destiny 2 patch notes update for Season of the Splicer, otherwise known as 3.2.0.1. Very excited about this. This literally just came out. It's Tuesday. It is, I think, almost like 11 o'clock now. Yeah, it's like 10:50 p.m. Pacific or a.m. Pacific time. So we're about 50 minutes into the update. So Season of the Splicer is out. It's happening right now. I got lucky enough to get in like right when it came out, and I played just the intro, just to the point where I could get back to orbit. I think Paracausal co-host, the homie Gil, I think he's still waiting for the copy. Is that right?
Yeah, copying at this moment.
So PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, I got to get the update up on PC as well. But I'm pretty excited for it. There's a lot of new content to talk about, but we're talking about the patch notes right now. We're talking about the patch notes today. So share this with your friends, share it on Twitter, whatever it is. If you need somebody to just review the patch notes, we're literally just going to walk through it. We have not read this. I read the first part, the general part, and that was it. So we really are just going to go straight through this and react with it with you guys. So let's just jump right into it. And we'll probably say everything per section and then react to it that way, unless it's like really, really big deal. So we'll start off with the beginning. General for activities. 4 law sectors have been added to the daily rotation of legend or master difficulty law sectors! Exclamation point. Fixed case-by-case issue for unresponsive or clumping enemies across various activities. Fixed an issue that could prevent AI enemies from firing in some 6-player activities when there were a lot of enemies alive in the area. So, first things first, obviously, 4 new law sectors. Sweet, right? I mean, that's good. We already know the new exotics. We have legs for every single class, so that's very exciting. And fix the case-by-case issues for unresponsive or clumping combatants, as well as AI enemies from firing. This sounds like Deepstone Crypt.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. This sounds like Deepstone Crypt. If you guys have done Deepstone Crypt, the raid, you guys probably know there's this really awkward situation where there'll be times where you're trying to die because you already like messed something up and you're just sitting there not doing anything. Sounds like maybe this was an issue, and that's kind of cool to hear. At first I was like, oh, this is probably referring to that 66, new mode that we have. But this actually is probably referring to the raid. So this is good. Maybe we'll see a difference in Deepstone Crypt. I'm sure we'll run it before the newest raid, VOG, comes out. But that's interesting. Anything you want to add on here, Gil? Just getting started.
No.
All right.
We already knew. Did they say what law sectors are in the rotation? Just that there are no more.
I think they told us the location. I think they were like, oh yeah, we're adding these 2 locations, but I don't remember what they are. I'm honestly not sure. So it'll be interesting to see that.
I'd assume they'd be like Dreaming City or
Yeah.
Tangled Shore.
I'd hope so. I'd hope so. But honestly, I don't know. Tangled Shore would be cool. I mean, there's obviously some cool ones on Tangled Shore, and I feel like I remember them saying that. Dreaming City would be wild because they've got some really interesting law sectors that I haven't been in since Forsaken. So yeah, that would definitely be cool. All right, awesome. Crucible time. 6v6 Crucible activities have an updated intro experience. You can now cycle through your teammates to view metrics associated with the activity you're entering. Momentum Control and Team Scorch have returned and will be available as part of the weekly playlist rotation. Love Momentum Control. Team Scorch, not so much. Adjusted the Dead Cliff's spawn point so that players can no longer place on the edge of the cliff on match start. Okay. Fix defeat audio sound for teammates for teammate defeats in private matches in Showdown. All right. Disabled Mercy Rule in private matches. Interesting. I never even thought about that before. Players can now join a private match in progress at any time, regardless of team score or time remaining. And then fix inaccessible heavy ammo placement on Distant Shore, Bannerfall, Widow's Court, and Altar of Flame. Gil, what do you think?
I'm interested to see what the new intro experience is like. I think that's the most interesting thing here. mean, everything else is just kind of regular bug fixes and stuff. But I mean, I'm kind of interested to see like what metrics we're gonna see
Yeah.
when we load in.
Yeah.
That might be a little toxic.
Dude, I agree with you. I'm sitting here like, well, if I'm gonna jump into the game and I immediately see that these people are bad, like it's gonna put me off on the wrong way. But I'm wondering if it's gonna be something more of like, I don't know, just like Crucible lifetime kills or Crucible, like more of stat tracker stuff, less like KD, like Call of Duty or something like that, and more of just like stat tracker. So hopefully it's more of a thing where people can gloat about being good and less about being punished because they're bad. Because what's the point of that? So I agree with you though. I think momentum control for me is a pretty big deal too. I really do love momentum control, but I agree with you. I think being able to cycle through your teammates and view the metrics is we just got to see what's up with
Yeah.
that. The rest of these are all interesting. I didn't even know there was inaccessible heavy ammo placements. I had no idea, so it'll be interesting to see that. But let's move on. One of the more interesting things, a lot of us don't really play Gambit as per recently. So interesting to see what kind of fix they did with Gambit. Fixed a rare issue that could result in fronts not rotating due to a single living enemy hiding at a
Oh.
previously cleared front on
Mhm.
the other side of the map. We've had this issue
Mhm.
a bunch recently, and it was
Yeah.
so annoying. Sorry, I know I said I'd go through the whole thing, but there are little things inside of Gambit that make me just not want to play, period. So
Right.
some of these small fixes might help the experience. Fixed an incorrect wave progression on Legion's Folly, which is Vex. Fixed an issue where a Scorn Abomination could have become friendly and start attacking other Scorn. No, I like that. Let's do that more. More of this.
Yeah.
Fixed an issue where drop motes would disappear immediately if the opposing team summoned their primeval. This is a great fix because that was a big issue. Fixed an issue where combatants in the Deep 6 Gambit map would sometimes fail to move around or take cover. Interesting. Fixed an issue that was allowing Warlock players to exploit Blink-related abilities to remain on the opposing side during invasion in Gambit. Woo! That's toxic. What do you think there, Go?
I didn't even know a couple of these things were a thing.
Yeah, me either.
I've never heard of that warlock thing ever.
Yeah.
But the moat fix or disappearing immediately, very good.
Yep.
Literally had that like last week.
Yep.
I was very annoyed. And also the first one was like a thing that we ran into a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that's fixed as well.
Yeah, I think it's also good to just hear that they're doing bug fixes on things that like maybe people don't care about as much. Like people just generally don't care about Gambit as much, and I think even like some of the private match things, like someone was like, "Hey, like the mercy rule is kind of annoying," and they were like, "Okay, yeah, we'll fix it. Like, don't even worry about it." Like, which is, I don't know. I think to me that says something. To me that says, okay, hey, we're still focused on these things. So I think that's good. New light campaign. Improve the explanations in some tutorial messages. Good. Tutorial messages will no longer pop up to distract players during Crucible or Gambit matches. Okay, didn't know that happened. And fix an issue where players could abandon the A Spark of Hope quest and not be able to recover it from the quest archive vendor in the tower. I don't think this really has anything to do with myself or Gil, or honestly anybody that's reading these patch notes. But if you have friends or something that are playing, hey, at least it'll be better for them. So we'll just skip that and move right along. Destination Patrol. Interesting. I have no idea what could be in here except for Shah Han and his repeatable bounties. But let's go through it. The Moon fixed an issue where some quest enemies in Moon Free Roam would immediately respawn after being defeated. Okay? Fixed an issue where the Hive rune could be missing from one of the stones from a chess puzzle on the Moon. Fixed the issue where some of the chess puzzles on the Moon weren't appearing. Interesting. Cosmodrome. Shah Han now offers repeatable Cosmodrome bounties. Nice. Fixed an issue where players could get stuck behind the boss portal in the Vale's Labyrinth Lost Sector. The hive under the helicopters in the Divide will now always be that ogre who first killed you back in 2014. I love that. All
Yeah.
forgotten dead ghosts around the Cosmodrome have been removed and properly laid to rest. The Grottos now has player contaminant volumes, yeah, around its water boundaries. Um, containment, not contaminant, containment. Cool. And then Dreaming City fixed an issue where filling up your quests slash bounty slots could result in player losing a small gift pursuit awarded to them. Um, Interesting. I love these changes on Cosmodrome just because they're like
Yeah.
very. I mean, really, just these two. I mean, if you didn't know, there were ghosts that were from D1 that were still around in the Cosmodrome, dead ghosts that you used to go and go check out. So those are gone, but it's just cool to see it in the patch notes. But this one is great. The ogre that first kills you in D1,
Mhm.
having that there and always be there, I think is just kind of a nod,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. Otherwise, it's mostly bug fixes here. The moon with the chess puzzles. I'm wondering how many people are actually engaging with the chess puzzles. I think I did them like
Yeah.
once when I first saw them, and then I was like, I mean, the chests don't ever give you good loot, so I'm never gonna do it.
Right.
But maybe
I,
that's just
I
me.
I literally don't go to the moon, so
Right, right. Interesting, interesting. Destination Patrol. All right, strikes. All right, it looks like there's going to be a lot of stuff in here.
I can do this
Um,
one if you want.
yeah, please. Let's all yours,
Mhm.
all yours.
All right. So for our boy Fallen Saber, during the first encounter inside our student's bunker, the death volume inside the bottomless pits has been lowered to give players a chance to recover. I don't know anything about that, so
Okay,
um, sped up the transition from orbit briefing dialogue to the gameplay by a few seconds.
that's funny.
Fixed an issue where dialogue lines from the previous area's public events could play during the Warsat encounter. Player ghosts now immediately revive when the strike ends, and the first fire team member to enter the Warsat area should now reliably see the Warsat falling. Be careful.
That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty funny. Good change, because
yeah.
I've done that multiple times. The Devil's Lair removed some objects that could be interacted with but had no effect. Fixed an issue where players could get stuck in the air during the Suffix Prime boss fight when using Thunder Crash. Fixed an issue where Suffix Prime was taking more damage than intended.
No, keep that.
Inverted Spire, as the boss fight progresses to lower layers, any player's ghost left above will now spawn on the current layer. Good.
Yep.
Warden of Nothing fixed an issue where the number of champions killed was not always being tracked correctly, and fixed an issue where some Cabal champions were missing from the arena fight in the ruins of the old prison builders.
Okay.
Cool. The Corrupted fixed an issue where players could get stuck behind the ogre room if other members of the fire team ran too far ahead of them. Okay. The Disgraced fixed an issue where players who had completed the New Light campaign would always hear the New Light dialogue during the strike instead of the normal dialogue.
Hmm.
Fixed issues where players could get locked out of the boss room and joining players could spawn in too far behind their fire team. And then last, Proving Grounds fixed an issue where the strike name was written as Proving Ground.
Okay.
Nice.
These are all like just, but I mean, they're bug fixes. They're definitely bug
Yeah.
fixes. Nothing too
Nothing
interesting.
crazy.
Yeah, but definitely should make things run smoother. I'm still so interested in like, I mean, you have things like Last Wish, like that's never been fixed, which I'm not asking for them to ever fix.
Yeah.
But all of these strikes getting fixed is pretty cool. I mean, just to again see them constantly doing triage on this stuff, I think
Mm-hmm.
is interesting,
Mm-hmm.
nonetheless. Cool. You
Now,
want to keep
some
it
public
going?
event fixes. Yeah, I'll keep
Cool.
going. Public events. Stop the Ether Ritual. Fixed an issue where the UI wouldn't always display that you had engaged with the public event. And High Virtual fixed an issue where players would engage with the public events simply by being in the same area on the moon.
All right. Same thing here. There's not too much to
Yeah,
talk about, but just some fixes. Just some fixes.
right. Raids.
Uh-oh.
Deepstone Crypt fixed an issue where players could hop off sparrows to reset the fire in the basement off the crypt security encounter.
I feel like a
I don't know. That was
speedrunner
a
figured
thing.
that out at some point, and then they were like,
Probably.
hey, none of that. That's funny.
Fixed an issue where players can avoid having the rally bin removed after starting the final encounter.
Interesting.
Fixed an exploit where players can complete the Atrax 1 challenge by having players sucked out of the airlock. I don't know, that was a thing.
I didn't know that either. Interesting. Okay.
And then last for Deepstone, fixed an issue where players were able to trigger a quarantine in the crypt security encounter by using a finisher on combatants.
Dude, where did people figure these
Weird.
things out? That's funny.
For Garden Salvation, fixed an issue where some music would fail to play while on the Divinity quest. And Last Wish fixed an issue where Riven could start the wipe cast 20 seconds faster if she went on a certain side.
Oh my god, that explains a lot. Oh, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. That explains so much. There are definitely times where I'm like, dude, we really have to up the DPS here. Like, why aren't we getting this? But 20 seconds? 20
That's
seconds
wild.
is a lot of time for DPS. Like, DPS literally stands for damage per second. 20 seconds of non-DPS is a lot. So that actually explains a bunch. I feel like they made Last Wish easier for us, which is kind of crazy, knowing that it's also broken. But I feel like they're never going to fix it because the completion rate of Last Wish without the glitch is, I think, probably a little too low. Nothing else really that interesting in here. Just, again, like,
No.
glitch fixes. These are more like exploit fixes.
Right.
Yeah.
One little dungeon fix here. Pit of Heresy fixed the dupe glitch when dunking the balls.
No! I'm actually okay with that. I think I actually like it more for, and we'll see if they actually fixed it, but I actually like it more for the maze because I hate doing the maze. I think it's like the worst thing they ever made. I mean, for me personally, like I understand it's fun, like to some people, and it's like fine encounter, but I just hate doing it as a Titan. If I can't punch it, then I don't like it.
Right.
But this thing right here, I actually think it's going to be better for the third encounter because I think the third encounter is fun, but it does take a little bit. So I think people are just like, let's just skip it. But I think it isn't a super easy encounter, and it's definitely not a super easy encounter for solo play or for even duo play. So if you're duoing the dungeon, I mean it's difficult because you have to stay alive that whole time without any help on that platform, and your other person has to go out and survive, while getting the ball. The good thing is obviously you'll be dunking and swapping more often, which is important to keep yourselves alive, but you're gonna have to be able to kill ads at a really fast rate. So I love that change in the sense that it will be a challenge once again, which it really wasn't. Pop bubble and you just go.
Yeah.
All right. You want me to do this one or you got this?
I'll just do this one and then
All right.
take gameplay.
Cool.
Some UI changes. We saw a couple of these already from the TWAB last week, but we'll go over them again. If they're here. Remove display cap on player waypoint season rank. Waypoint will now show players' actual season rank when it's above 999. I don't know who's getting above 999.
I've seen it. It's crazy.
I mean, I've seen it too. I don't know why people would do that.
That's an insane amount of time.
Season rank now shows up in player nameplate tooltips. Gilding count displays on in-game player waypoints. Fixed an issue where some non-guildable seals were displaying with gilding UI.
I've seen that.
Fixed an issue where the sound effect when gilding a title would not sync with the animation. Moved fire team privacy button in roster layout. Reduced dismantle time and improved dismantle efficiency on some older fizzled items and currencies. Good.
That wasn't as exciting as I thought it was about to be.
Yeah. Tooltips for items in the Triumphs tab no longer display Triumph for all types found within the record tab. lore, metric, etc. are up.
Cool.
Several changes to NAV mode. These are from last week. Several separated bounties from quests in NAV mode. All bounties now appear in NAV mode. They can no longer be tracked as a result. Category switching on keyboard and mouse can now be controlled with the scroll wheel. Track triumphs now appear in NAV mode category. Its own NAV mode category. Helm now appears on the Director Destinations tab from the tower map and has its own map. Legends added to the Director Destinations tab. Shortcut between HUD quest step notifications and quest details screen added for keyboard and mouse users. Updated loading hints regarding anti-champion modifications. Appearance customization has been added to the vanity screen below the character screen. Players are now able to fully customize their armor shaders and ornaments from the screen. Players are now able to unlock the appearances of any armor they have obtained using class-specific or MTX tokens, Synthweave bolts, or Synthweave template. Players are now able to apply shaders to all their armor at once via the Overview tab. Players are now able to preview shader ornaments on multiple pieces at once within the appearance customization screen.
A lot of changes here.
Yeah.
Biggest one I feel like is the one that we've already talked about before, which is nav mode. I've seen it. It is great. I think it's great. The ability to be able to look at your quests separate from your bounties and have all your bounties, I think is great. I think it's just such a good change. The Helm, I've seen that as well. Cool change. Haven't actually seen the Legends tab. I forgot to look for it. But yeah, I mean, this is interesting stuff. Obviously, we already knew about appearance customization. The only thing I don't know about, and I was talking to clanmate Darth about this, is I don't understand what's happening with weapon, like weapon skins, like weapon shaders. So
Right.
I've actually been playing the game, but I completely forgot to check. But that's something that we'll take a look at and we'll talk about when in our first impressions for sure. Very very interesting with all of these changes. Definitely something we'll talk about later in our first impressions because there's a lot here.
Yeah.
Gameplay and investment. Armor. In Season of the Hunt, many armor mods were depreciated as a result of the change to the energy types of all weapon-focused armor mods being changed to any energy type. The pre-armor 2.0 version of these perks have also been depreciated. Cool.
Deprecated.
Oh yeah, deprecated. Okay, I knew that. But same meaning for the most part.
Yeah.
The Mind Vault ornament can now be equipped on year one versions of Insurmountable Skullfort. I don't know why you have a year one version of Insurmountable Skullfort, but that's fair. Fixed an issue that was resulting in feminine character models utilizing masculine character model hands during certain cinematic scenes. Example, gear and character preview screens, which was resulting in the hands visibly clipping through the gear wrap bits. Interesting. Okay. Telesto will no longer incorrectly trigger the Death Throes perk on the Verity's Brow exotic. Kepri Sting will no longer grant True Sight when affected by another Guardian Smoke Bomb invisibility. Fellwinter's Helm will no longer cause 2020 Solstice armor glows to default to void, regardless of the player's current subclass. Weird. The heavy-handed mod now correctly works with the Shiver Strike melee. Interesting. The Assassin's Cowl, Severance Enclosure, worst exotic in the game, the Fellwinter's Helm exotics now trigger their effects on stasis-powered melee takedowns. Severance Enclosure and Fellwinter's Helm now create their effects at the location of the enemy defeated by a powered melee instead of originating at the player's location. That makes a ton of sense. It might actually make sense on why Severance Enclosure was so bad, to be honest with you. But we'll have to wait and see. Added a full suite of trace rifle focused armor mods to the game. Remove the infusion caps from all legendary armor pieces issued or reissued in Season of the Worthy or later. Remove the infusion caps. Right. Meaning no more sunsetting. Got it.
Yep.
Got it. Armor sets issued in Season of the Worthy and Season of the Arrivals have had their legacy armor mod socket replaced with a combat style armor mod socket. This is a huge deal. This is a huge deal because we were missing a ton of mods because of this. Huge deal.
Right.
I was actually getting. I thought I've been on my own channel, Changer Gaming. On my own channel, I've been just streaming and trying to clean out my vault. Gil knows; he's always been there. And I was like, "Oh, this sucks," because all my solar armor that I use is from old seasons, so I need new ones to be able to use combat style, mod stuff. But that's not true anymore. I didn't know they were doing that. That's a big deal. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Gil?
A lot of Felwinter's Helm in here.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was so bugged.
Yeah.
I don't use it much, do you?
I don't even play Warlock, so no.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when I play Warlock, I always play Nezarec Sin or Nezarec Sin. The gauntlets. I use the Necrotic Grip, Controverse Hold. Those are what I use for PvE.
Yeah.
PvE. But.
Yeah. But we all know, as of this season, sunsetting's over.
Yes.
It's gone.
Sunsetting is over.
So,
some people actually might not know that. Sunsetting is over. No more complaining about sunsetting. Now, you can complain about the fact that it ever happened.
Yeah.
But it's over. So,
yeah.
Don't trip.
I volunteer as tribute to raid weapons.
Yes. All right, let's do it.
Oh my god, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Remove infusion casts from all legendary weapons issued or reissued in Season of the Worthy or later.
Right.
Weapon archetypes.
Ooh,
Nerfs. Aggressive 120 RPM hand cannons now have damage and aim assist fall off distance reduced by between 2 and 4 meters based on range stat. W. This roughly halves the range buff they received in Beyond Light. Vortex frame sword full energy heavy attack ammo cost increased from 4 to 6. Still going to be good. Removes chip damage from swords. Good. Buffs increased precision 450 auto rifle damage per bullet from 17 to 18. Shane's excited to use his Brake Tech wearable.
Yes, I am.
Added a rare linear fusion rifle and breach grenade launcher to the world loophole. So
this is not a buff.
It's just
like,
an addition.
We added these to the loophole. I guess the only way you could look at this as a buff is that it's better infusion material.
Yeah.
But even then, it doesn't actually matter. So I don't know why they said that. Anyway.
Increased linear fusion rifle damage by 15% and increased the reserves by 20%.
We're testing that.
Now, yeah. Before, I'm not going to talk too much on this, but people are already saying Sleeper is banging. So
we'll see.
We'll see. Increased damage fall off distance for regular fusion rifles. No effect on 100 range stat. Plus 2 meters on 0 range stat.
Cool. We'll
Perks. Nerfs. Quick draw handling bonus is now removed after 1 second after switching to this weapon or on aiming down sights. Replace quick draw with surplus on new and existing drops of Felwinter's Lie and Astral Horizon. Frenzy bonus, damage reduced from 20% to 15. Still good, but not as good. Reservoir burst. Now increases magazine size in addition to its other effects. Reduced full battery bonus damage from 33% to 25%. Buffs. Lots of buffs here. Subsistence no longer reduces reserve ammunition, and submachine guns now receive the same ammo fraction per takedown that auto rifles do.
This is huge. Especially for hand cannons, but we'll talk about this in a minute.
Right. High impact reserves and under pressure are now active as long as their conditions are met. Use to trigger on projectile fire. Unrelenting now more easily triggers in PvE. Immediate trigger on orange bars and heals 20%. Sympathetic Arsenal now grants plus 20 reload in addition to its primary effect. Dragonfly now works on heavy shanks and servitors and incurs even faster than the Season of the Chosen Change.
Now, why it never worked on servitors to begin with, I don't know. It's not like they didn't have crit damage. Heavy shanks. Yeah. No, heavy shanks like the bosses, or are they just like
They're like, I mean, they're basically just like servitors but shanks.
Yeah, like the big ones that have like the crit spot.
Right, like the
Yeah,
little visor
right.
spot.
How did they not have? Anyway, continue.
Hip fire grip gains +1. I don't even know what this means. +1 degrees precision hip fire angle threshold, +1.2x reticle stickiness fall off distance, increase for the season of rifles buff.
just know that this is a buff, right? I mean, if you really want to know, right, just think that basically it should be easier to aim a little bit more with hip fire grip now, if you're hip firing. So the biggest thing for this is going to be obviously last word, but if you have any hip fire grip weapons, especially like sidearms, I think you might see a buff to that. Another good one to test is Mida Smg, the Mida Smg, because obviously that has hipfire grip and kill clip, and I think a lot of people sleep on the fact that it has hipfire grip. So maybe take a look at that as well.
Yeah. Iron Grip, Iron Gaze, and Iron Reach secondary stat penalty reduced from -40 to -30. Osmosis and Elemental Capacity now works when playing Stasis. Elemental Capacitor with the Stasis subclass grants plus recoil direction and reduces ADS move speed penalty. No distractions. Trigger time reduced from 1.5 seconds to 1, and flinch reduction increased from 30% to 35%.
Excited about this because we were playing yesterday, and I had my no distraction snapshot site roll, and I was like, it's just taking a little too long to get no distractions out. And you were using like something stupid like Nature of the Beast or something, and you were flinching the crap out of me, and I was like, what? I have no distractions on. Why is this so bad? So I do think this flinch reduction is good, and I think it is a worthy trade-off. A second to, if you have to be in a lane or not looking in a lane for a full second, I do think that is a worthy change to also have reduced flinch. So I think this is good. Sorry, continue.
Very good. Celerity now grants +20 handling and +20 reload in addition to the triggered effect. And Bottomless Grief now always grants +30 to the magazine stat in addition to the triggered effect.
We will definitely be testing this. We might even be testing these on stream now that I think about it. We'll have to, we'll see. But yeah.
So something that I don't believe they've said before about Bottomless Grief, it says +30 to the magazine stat.
Yeah. They've never explained
the magazine in general.
A lot of people were like, yo, hand cannon's about to be lit with Bottomless Grief. And I was like, all right, relax.
Yeah. Mods. Adept Mag and Adept Targeting secondary stat penalty reduced from -20 to -15. Fixed Adept Mag not granting reserves when applied to a sword. Adept Counterbalance has increased recoil direction benefit. Exotics. Mida Multi-Tool Catalyst port change from Outlaw to No Distractions. Huge.
Yeah.
Hawk Moon has increased priority of Paracausal Charge and Paracausal Shot buff text, sometimes dropping off the bottom of the list. The Lament has reduced damage from revved heavy attack by 16%. Bastion chip damage removed and intrinsically staggers unstoppable champions. Increased spread angle by 13%. Tiku's Divination is now acquirable through the Monument to Lost Light kiosk in the tower.
Imagine not having Tiku's. I do want to say, the Lament, I was using it today in the very beginning, and you do face like some sort of boss, still feels absolutely incredible. You might have to do a little bit more work to reach like some really great DPS levels. I mean, you do have to think about every single time you used the heavy attack, it will be literally cut by 16%. But you shouldn't notice that much of a difference. I felt like I did notice it, and I was running out of ammo faster, but I usually do run a sword build whenever I run Lament. So, I'm talking about ammo finders, scavengers, making sure I have need procced every single time. Just something to think about, but still obviously very, very good.
Bug fixes. Surrounded perk buff will no longer linger when using Surrounded Spec mod. Fixed an issue where Symmetry was able to cause damage to friendly teammates in Crucible using its alternate fire route. Fixed an issue where precision hand cannons would show down arrow on magazine stat when applying a backup mag mod. Fixed an issue where magazine size would always display a green increase arrow even when magazine decreases on temporal cause. Fixed
no one
an issue
has this, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a machine gun. Nobody has this machine gun. It's bad. Anyway.
Fixed Fix an issue where Thresh would trigger a generic buff SFX on each kill, even if super energy is full.
Oh,
Fix
interesting.
an issue where Cloud Strike could trigger the Lightning Storm even if shooting invulnerable targets. Fixed an issue where Bad Juju's emissive color was white instead of its normal green. Fixed an issue where Summoner's Auto Rifle's emissive color was white instead of its normal orange. Fixed an issue where Seven Seraph Shotgun Ornament had artifacting
Near the bolt.
near the bolt.
Yeah, artifacting is like you'll see something visually that shouldn't be there.
Mhm,
So it sounds like they're just, which is funny. I'm using this literally right now. So I guess that
mhm.
means the bolt that you usually see when you're reloading. I guess there must have been like some visual thing going on there. Interesting.
Fixed an issue where a Adored Sniper Rifle was using Beyond Light watermark instead of the Season of the Hunt watermark.
How dare they?
Fixed an issue where Mida Multi-Tool had animation popping in first person when coming out of a sprint. And fixed an issue where a Det Mag did not work on Solar Scar.
Surprised that they said that twice. I mean, they basically already said a Det Mag didn't work on swords at all.
Yeah.
But all right. Cool. That's a lot.
Ooh.
Again, I think this is better left towards us doing some testing. We
Mhm.
are streaming. We stream every single Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. So definitely catch us there. But if you miss it, we probably will stream Tuesday, the first day of the new season as well, and we might actually do some of this stuff. We might do some testing and talk through some of these changes and exciting things because there's a lot here, especially for PVE. For PVE, for PV, sorry, PVE. For PvP, there's some good stuff in here too.
Mhm.
But there's just a lot of things to just like, all right, let's put a celerity weapon on, let's put a bottomless grief weapon on, and just go through these things and see
Right.
what's going on here. So awesome. Power and progression. You want me to go?
Sure.
The infusion cap for weapons and armor has risen 10 points. All sources will now offer upgrades up to 1260. Powerful sources up to 1310, and pinnacle sources go up to 1320. We have been asking this for a while. Like we just weren't sure
Mhm.
if they were doing the 10 upgrade or if they were doing their normal, like whatever it is, 50 or something like that. Um,
Yeah.
so this is going to be really interesting. I know some people were kind of upset about it, and some people were just like, yeah, whatever, like this is fine. I personally am hoping that it's good because I don't really
Mhm.
want to sit here all day long worrying about my power grind. But it does mean
Yeah.
that they're going to have to put other things into the game to get us excited. So I'm interested in seeing what that looks like, which really means like it's a weapon grind and an armor
Mhm.
grind and things like that. Um, so this is going to be interesting. All sources will now offer upgrades up to 1260. That's really low.
Yeah.
So that's already interesting. Um, you're only
I
going to be
wonder.
doing, yeah, yeah.
I wonder what our vault weapons got increased to.
Yeah,
Like
good
the ones that we
point.
haven't used,
Maybe
and there's like
1260.
1100.
Maybe they'll stay at 1100. Since I guess now you can use upgrade, right? You'll use your 1260. Yeah, I think they will probably stay at 1100. I'll check, but I
Mhm.
feel like they're probably staying at 1100. But this is interesting because this means you're really, every powerful, you're really going to be like, okay, 1310. Wow, I've never even thought about this. So every powerful you get, you can
Mhm.
upgrade something that maybe you weren't really using before, but then you're going to like slowly get to this 1320 grind.
Yeah.
But there is no really in between here.
Mhm.
Like you and I are already at the max, so we will start getting things above the 1310, but
Right.
only via pinnacle sources.
Mhm.
So we'll be doing powerful gear for 1310 stuff to upgrade other things to continue playing.
Uh-oh.
What? What'd you say? Oh, wait, what?
If you're still talking, you're
Uh oh. Seems like we might have had an internet issue. Just in case, I'm gonna. Oh, you there?
you're good. You're
Okay.
back.
I don't know what happened on my screen. Everything was fine. But technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. But yeah, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. We don't want to waste too much time. We'll talk about all of this stuff as we move forward. Bounties and pursuits. The Exo Stranger has a new Stasis Aspect quest available. Excited to figure out what that is. Requires Beyond Light ownership, campaign completion, and acquisition of all prior stasis aspects from the Stranger. Yeah,
Play the game and you can get it.
yeah, pretty much. Own Beyond Light and play the game, and you can get it.
Yeah.
Fixed an issue where step 2 of the Born in Darkness Part 2 quest unintentionally changed to only require using stasis abilities against 30 combatants instead of the original 60. The objective has been returned to the original value. Players who have not yet completed this quest step will have to use stasis abilities against 60 combatants. Oh no. Weapon focused bounties will now cycle on a weekly rotation instead of random. Okay. Fixed an issue where Eris Morn's post campaign memories quests weren't showing on her map marker. Fixed an issue where the reward chest had no waypoint, making it easy to miss. Zavala, Shax, and Drifter have new daily and repeatable stasis bounties available. Gambit daily bounties and all 3 repeatable bounties require stasis subclass acquisition. Interesting and bizarre,
Yeah.
but interesting. This is weird because you're gonna have like there are gonna be bounties if you're a free player that you can't do,
Mhm.
right? Like that's kind of crazy. So very interesting for sure. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Everything else here is, kind of, bug fixes,
Mhm.
weapon focused bounties. On a weekly rotation, I think is interesting. Whatever.
Yeah.
This is just kind of like let's play it and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
So
Indeed.
we'll have to see.
I can take this one if you want.
All right, let's do it.
Abilities, aspects, and fragments. Fixed a bug that was making the Hunter Archrider's Way of the Warrior combat flow perk behave inconsistently. Colorblind support. Stasis abilities now have colorblind support. Enemy crystals, enemy squall, enemy duskfield, enemy bleakwasher. Player highlighting Crucible now has colorblind support. Subclass tuning. These changes were listed in the previous fog last week, but we'll go over them again. Hunters, the freeze detonation from Silence and Squall has been reduced from 12 to 8.5 meters in radius, and the enemy squall now has a red ring to define its area as it approaches. Huge W. Titans. Shiver Strike melee energy is now refunded when Glacial Quake ends. Fixed an issue in which players can trigger Whisper of Torment by standing in an opponent's barricade. Warlocks, Shadebinder. Bleakwatcher aspect now grants 2 fragment slots. Chaos Reach. Fixed an issue that Chaos Reach can go through walls and kill people on the other side.
Yay! This is the biggest one. Let's not lie. I'm happy about
Yeah.
this one, but this Chaos Reach one, dude,
Yeah.
thank God. Thank God.
Indeed. A little small thing here. Reduce the health of the fallen dropship turrets.
Oh, that's nice. I actually like
So,
that.
Fallen Saber,
Right?
doing GM,
Should be a little
will
bit
take less to
easier.
kill them. Stat trackers. Added stat trackers for each seal that can be gilded, tracking how many times the seal has been gilded. Seasonal challenges. The well-rested tooltip has been updated to direct players to seasonal challenges rather than weekly bounties. Added a past header category for seasonal challenges and moved any Season of the Chosen seasonal challenges with weapon, reputation, or lore rewards to the Season of the Chosen category under the past. All other Season of the Chosen seasonal challenges are no longer available. Added a new XP reward size for seasonal challenges. And shaders. Shaders are now unlockable items and no longer consumed upon application. Shaders no longer exist within the inventory and can now be found within collections. Any shader that has been unlocked in collections can be applied to weapons or armor for the cost of 500 glimmer. Existing shaders held in player inventories, vaults, and the postmaster have been removed.
First thing I'm doing when we get back is looking at what this looks like for weapons. I still have no idea. Like, I don't know if you
Yeah.
press, you go in there, you press the button, and then all of a sudden it shows all your shaders, like,
Right.
which is fine. I mean, it's a lot,
Yeah.
but that'll be interesting.
You can take this one.
Yeah, Season Pass. Updated tooltip to inform players purchasing Season Pass ranks at rank 99 does not provide progress past rank 100. Not sure why you would want to do that unless you're just trying to like pay for power, but that seems stupid. Seasonal armor will no longer drop from the Season Pass. Seasonal armor is now available exclusively through seasonal activities and seasonal rank bonuses. Updated season pass rank rewards. Free. Okay, what's the best way to read this? Rank 5 to 25, you get legendary shards, I guess. Rank 10 to 25, legendary shards.
No, it's rank 5.
And
You
rank
get 25 legendary shards.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you. I was like, how do I read this? Okay, rank 5, you get 25 legendary shards. Rank 10, you get 25 legendary shards. Rank 15, you get 5 enhancement cores. Rank 20, you get exotic engram. Rank 25, you get legendary engram. Feels like those should be flipped. Those are the free rewards. Now for premium, at 14, you get 25 legendary shards. At rank 15, you get 5 enhancement cores. At rank 17, you get 10,000 glimmer. You gotta love that. Gotta love getting glimmer. At rank 24, legendary engram. 27, you get 5 enhancement cores. At 34, you get 3 upgrade modules. Don't sleep on them upgrade modules, but don't be using them until you really need them. Rank 37, 10,000 glimmer. Rank 44, 25 legendary shards. Rank 47, 3 upgrade modules. Rank 54, exotic engram. And rank 57, 5 enhancement cores.
So those who might not understand this, these are ranks and rewards replacing what would be the armor slots in the past.
Right.
So yeah.
This is interesting because, like, with seasonal armor no longer being available and us having to get it through activities, I feel like now what we're thinking about when we think about armor is really, I want the transmog from it. So playing gives us the ability to go get these things. Granted, it does not give us the ability to transmog it. So really, it's like God roll or bust on armor these days, because you don't need any new polarities. You don't need any new. I mean, we'll still see if we get new mods this season, and if we need to have this particular set to use with it. But we'll just see. We'll just have to wait and see. Valor, Infamy, and Glory. We did talk a little bit about this before last week, so this should be a quick one. Glory, Valor, and Infamy reputations have had their internal systems rebuilt to a unified implementation. In-game, players should expect minimal perceived changes, and that's the big thing here, right? It's really all about tracking. I'm actually not going to reread this whole thing. Instead, I'm just going to explain it. Basically, what's happening here is that for basically all of Glory, Valor, and Infamy all have the same type of reputation tracking. So instead of having sub ranks, there will now just be normal ranks. There will be no sub ranks. They're all just called ranks, no matter what. There's not really a big difference there, but just know that that's a difference if you're interested. Glory playlist will no longer block Valor win streaks from declining because those are not the same thing. The Valor badge will now appear on Trials launch screen, which is very helpful, so you can actually see where your Valor is. Infamy win streak bonus is now linear, so you will always get 35 points per win. It's not going to be some like scaling thing or anything like that. Glory win streak is also now linear, plus 20. Valor and Glory gains and rewards are now blocked by the PvP ban hammer. So if you get banned, you ain't get nothing. Get out of here, which is very interesting. I don't know why people were getting gains without being able to play, but it is what it is. You are now no longer able to reset Valor or Infamy if you have a full stack of Ascendant Shards. That is a really, really helpful thing. Apparently, people in my clan were just sleeping on Ascendant Shards and sleeping on, like, different infusion materials, and they were just, like, hoarding them. And I was like, just spend them so you can get more of them, because you can't actually do anything when you're maxed. So this is actually forcing you to basically, recognize that you're maxed and do something about it. And don't delete them. Don't delete them. If you're that person that deletes them, Infamy rank reward bygones is now available without restriction. Yeah, I mean, you can't. Bygones is old, right? You can't even. Isn't bygones like an old weapon?
It's Forsaken, dude.
What? Infamy rank reward distant relation is available if it has never been acquired before. This is weird. I think this is weird to me. I mean, I think fine, like, let people get it, I guess. But I find it weird that they're even talking about this. I find it weird when they talk about sunset stuff. But I also I guess it's good because you don't want people to not have it at all, but whatever. 801 has returned to the tower with a variety of new offerings. Once the seasonal introduction quest is complete, players can visit 801 to pick up armor synthesis bounties to earn materials for up to 10 armor synthesis per class per season. Banshee 44 no longer offers armor mods, don't know why I said weapon, and will instead offer a selection of weapon mods, which will rotate daily. So go to Banshee, always check out his weapon mods. That way you can see if you're missing anything. When Xur's inventory includes an exotic armor piece with a perk effect that depends on the use of a particular ability, the armor piece should more reliably come with a higher stat value in the stat that governs the cooldown of that ability. That is pretty cool. I didn't expect that at all. Now, for some people, this won't matter at all, and they're not going to be interested. But this is honestly really, really cool. If you're getting Syntheseps, if you're getting, well, it's not a powered melee, so I guess that doesn't count. But if you're doing something like with Rift energy, my assumption is that you'll have high recovery, which is probably the best example. But if you're doing something with grenades, then of course you should be having high discipline. This isn't going to be interesting to a lot of people because some people ignore that and they just still want high intellect for, like, especially for PvPers. But for PvEers or for just just general people who aren't really trying to make, like, the best stat build ever, this is an interesting and I think a really smart play, because if you're using Xur anyway, you probably need pieces, and I think this is a good way to look at it. So I think that's cool. Awesome. Focused Umbral engrams in Prismatic Recaster. Focused Umbral engrams now auto decrypt when obtained via the Prismatic Recaster. This is awesome because it means you can go to the Prismatic Recaster, focus something, and instead of then taking it to be, recasted or whatever, decrypted, it'll just automatically decrypt, which is great. The visual status for focusing options on the Prismatic Recaster have been streamlined to reduce visual clutter and confusion, so basically it'll be easier to focus things. Platforms and systems added motion blur, chromatic abrasion, and film grain settings to Xbox One and PS4. Highly recommend just turning these off, but it's up to you guys. Take a look at it. I'm a huge I hate motion blur in most games unless you have a really high frame rate. So most of the time you probably want to turn it off. But it's up to you if you like the film grain and chromatic abrasion. Totally up to you. And then general, last part. Fixed a bug that prevented Sparrow cleanup when the rider exited the game unexpectedly. Okay. Fixed an issue causing gear in the Destiny content vault to erroneously drop from Strike unique loot lists. That was annoying. Sparrows no longer time out after 7 seconds and can now stay in the world semi-indefinitely. Just please be respectful where you park them. This is really random. I don't know why they did that. I guess they just want to show that a bunch of people were piling sparrows somewhere. That's just funny to me. I don't know why they have that, but it is pretty funny. Players can now easily filter the offerings in the Eververse storefront archive tab. Offerings have been increased to 200 plus items in the archive. They're looking for that money, man. They're looking for that money. Store tab now displays a sheen when bright engrams are available for decrypting.
I watched Astrocross for like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
He was going through the reverse. He was like, "This is going to be one of Bungie's most profitable seasons."
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. That doesn't surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, I saved a lot last season. I didn't really buy anything last season. And I usually put money in the beginning of the season, and I'm like, all right, I gotta, I'll figure out exactly what I want and figure it out. Like, for example, I don't think I'm gonna buy the Titan armor this season, but I do want some of the pieces from it, so I'll probably use Bright Dust for that. But instead, that means I'm gonna be able to spend on particular ornaments and things like that for weapons. And going back and seeing some of them is awesome. And obviously,
Right.
you've got you of course have a transmog. So we'll see what that looks like. I recommend people wait. I recommend people do transmog in the beginning with all your free stuff, with all your favorite things, and then wait. But if you're too impatient, I can't tell you what to do. Gil, overall, we just went through the patch notes. We will, of course, do some testing. We'll be streaming again. We'll talk through it all. But generally, how are you feeling about the patch notes?
It's looking pretty good. They made a lot of nice small changes, but also a lot of like huge ones that like really needed reworks, like the Hunter Stasis work and Chaos Reach and certain perks that really needed buffs.
Yeah.
Um, so overall, this looks really exciting. I'm excited for the whole map mode rework and stuff. Obviously, armor synthesis and the new shader system.
Yeah.
I think this season's going to be pretty good.
Cool.
So yeah,
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this is some pretty good patch notes. We're gonna get more patches as the season goes through. We'll always do a patch note preview if it's a big one or an important one. Otherwise, we'll do it normally on Thursdays. But this is kind of a big deal. We will be reacting to our first impressions. We'll give you our first impressions on Tuesday if you're watching this on Tuesday. And this video will also be up on YouTube, but we'll be streaming, of course, on Twitch. So we'll be talking about our reactions. We'll test a couple of these weapons beforehand. So definitely stay tuned. Make sure you're following us on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter, everywhere. Either way, guys, we will see you all, Ghosts and Guardians, online, and we will catch you in the next one. Peace.